claims of increased bizarre behavior has his family worried. Brother Nick tweeted that he was seeking a restraining order after he reportedly learned that Aaron was diagnosed with schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder.
I saved like hummingbirds when they accidentally come into my house. Like the fact that you guys have created a narrative to make it seem like this guy would want to kill his own brother and then publicize that is
or his
one
wife,
of the most ridiculous fucking things. Well, Nick said it. Nick said allegedly, you know. Yeah. And I don't know where he like. But it came from this bullshit. You know?
According to her, Aaron said, "I want to tell you something that I've never told you before. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia and bipolar 2 years ago."
Which he said he wasn't when we talked to him on the show.
And then Angel asked him if he hears voices, and he said, "I have thoughts of killing babies." This is according to her. That's what Nick has put in the restraining order document, and that restraining order was granted.
I'm owning everything. I don't understand.
Yeah, he details a FaceTime call Aaron actually had with one of his sisters where he described this stuff.
Even more troubling, given his apparent mental state, Aaron was seen coming out of a gun store 2 weeks ago.
As for Aaron, he tells us he would never harm any family members, denies saying this stuff, but it's just one disturbing thing after another.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's saying things like I'm never going to speak to you again. We're done. I don't want to ever, I wish I never called you family. It was all just the worst things you can say. And, you know, his brother, and I'll never forget, because they were like staring at me like, are you getting this sort of deal? And it was the word right after that, Aaron Carter realizes that I'm there.
And that is when he lost it. He started screaming at the judge.
But I want to talk about some of these other court cases that you have done, that you have covered in the past, that were memorable, that maybe we didn't talk about on the last episode we had you on. Because I remember you bringing up something with Aaron Carter in the past. So, like, lead us through so that we can really give the Amber story, like, its full potential here.
Yeah. Okay. So when you cover court cases, you're essentially, at least my job was, I don't want to give like too much away here, but you're filming inside when you have a media request and you get approved by the judge or the bailiff or whatever, that you can film the court case, right? Mm-hmm. So that's your primary motive. If you're not allowed, if you're denied, you basically have to just wait to talk to the celebrity outside and try to get a statement from them or their lawyer, their representation, whoever's there with them. So with Aaron Carter, I was denied a request to film in the court because it was a civil matter. It was with him and his family. If I remember correctly, it was a dissolution or like a divorce of Aaron from the family, something like that, where he was, I don't remember the exact details, but he was going through a hard time at the time. I mean, obviously he's had his issues. This was one of his lower points where his family was literally like pushing him away. Mm-hmm. And I have to basically sit inside the courthouse for like 4 or 5 hours, just like waiting for him to leave. And his sister and his brother-in-law are aware that I'm there. I've made it clear that I'm there. I'm letting them know, like, just FYI, I'm here. I'm not trying to be weird, but I'm going to have to talk to somebody. Whoever goes outside first, I'm going to have to talk to you. And while I'm sitting there, Aaron walks out of the courtroom, and he is fuming.
Hey, Aaron, dude, how are you?
Remember what I told you last time? Remember what I told you last time?
No,
Wait, hold on.
All right.
I'm not playing your game. You're playing my game, and it's not over.
Aaron, I know.
No, you're done. You're done. Listen to me. I said you're done talking. You understand what I said?
I mean, something just happened inside. I wasn't allowed in the courtroom, and he is fuming. And him and his sister and his brother-in-law, not Nick Carter, but his brother-in-law, start having this like just all-out blowout argument right there. And I'm just sitting on the courtroom chair right outside the courtroom. And I mean, he's saying things like, I'm never going to speak to you again. We're done. I don't want to ever, I wish I never called you family. It was all just the worst things you can say. And, you know, his brother, and I'll never forget, because they were like staring at me like, are you getting this sort of deal? And it was the word right after that, Aaron Carter realizes that I'm there. He kind of figured it out. And I'm like, I'm not recording. You're not allowed to record in a courthouse. So this is just like my own personal experience that I'm having to like just sit there and deal with while I wait for him to go outside so I can try to get him to talk to me. And as I'm going with him outside, Aaron Carter basically turns to me and says, I'm going to say one thing to you. And I'm saying one thing, you got to leave me alone. And I'm like, okay, no problem. That's fine. And yeah, on camera. And we walk out of the courthouse and I get my camera ready. And then he in the middle of like still yelling at his sister, like all the way down inside the courthouse. I believe the security started asking him to leave. I don't want to be mistaken on that, but he walks out and I get the camera up and he just looks at me and goes, "No, not today," and then runs away.
What?
Yeah, he was telling me that he was going to talk to me, but they used the footage. We actually used the footage of him telling me, "No, not today," and all that because it was him leaving court. Like he had lost in court, so that was the story, that it was like a bad day for him. But that was one of the more.
Wait, okay,
it was a sad story to cover. That was one of the sadder stories.
What's your
fun
view on Aaron Carter? Because we had a really interesting episode with Aaron Carter where like I walked away feeling bad for him, feeling like he gave us like the most honest answers and then the feedback came from people that, oh, he's just a liar and bullshitter and all this kind of stuff. What's your view on him? Because I cannot figure this guy out.
I mean, child star. That's my view on him, I guess. It's like I think that those types of celebrities are bred a different way when they get older. I mean, I think everybody's view changed on him when he put the tattoo on his face. I think that changed everybody's view on him. But my view on him is I think he is a very misunderstood guy, a very troubled guy. And I think that early fame has lingering effects on anybody, and it affects people differently. Like some people, like DiCaprio, they handle their fame or at an early age really well. People like Aaron Carter, they don't. I think it's a classic story. And what I can't figure out is like, it seems like or his Instagrams, doesn't he it seems like I think he like privated his Instagram once and then like he unlocked it and he was engaged or something. It was really bizarre, but he like,
Our whole conversation with him was very bizarre, but
yeah.
fascinating at the same time.
I also liked him. I believed him. Yeah, he came on our podcast.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and we thought honestly, I thought he was like a really nice guy. Like I felt for him, but then I'm like, oh, did I just get fooled? Because he seemed pretty sane, and and I still don't know. Like I don't know which side to believe. However, face tattoos were pretty intense, and I don't know. I'm still confused by that interview because I want to believe him. You want to root for the best for him. However, I don't know if he's going the right path or he's in the right route.
Yeah, I mean, I can't make a medical diagnosis on him or anything, but just based on what I saw.
Go listen to the episode we had him on.
Yeah.
Again, just like Adam said, like I felt for the guy. I was like, oh man, like this is a rough childhood, rough life. Like basically pitting two brothers against each other, and then one brother got more famous, which was technically Aaron first, and then and then his brother, and our was the other way around, but Aaron had more success on his own, which apparently pissed off his brother Nick. I don't know. Again, this is all coming from Aaron, so I don't know.
He was like the OG Bieber, though, kind of like before Bieber, it was Aaron Carter. He just didn't have the longevity of like, maybe he came around like 5 years too early or something, because it just seems like it fizzled out for him in a way it didn't for Bieber. But
yeah, maybe his song "I Want Candy" really meant "I want cocaine."
Yeah,
I want cocaine.
Well, when did he wrote it when he was like 12?
Yeah.
Well, it was a cover. Yeah,
it was a cover. He knew what he was going to do.